Welcome to Hunters, the show where we
force you to dream big, force you to master your reality, and force you to feel powerful.
I'm James.
I'm Boadi.
And I'm Shaka, Ptah.
Today we'll be talking about the importance of the follow-through. Now, the whole concept of the follow-through is any person that's in pursuit of their success, pursuit of their dreams, there's going to come a time where you're going to have roadblocks, and you're going to have things that are going to stand in your way, that they're going to tell you that, you know what, maybe you can't get to where you want to be. You know, you're going to have those doubts. You're going to have those feelings, that negativity. And you have to have the will to fight and follow through with what you really want to do. So today, we're talking about that at any means necessary type mentality. You know, making those tough decisions, doing those things that you don't want to do to ensure your success and to bring your dreams into fruition. And James is going to take it away with the first story.
Yeah. So I'll preface this with, excuse me, that I'm an Eagles fan through and through. I bleed green. But with this first athlete that we're going to be talking about today, his name is Emmit Smith. Obviously, most people know him, Hall of Fame running back, played for the Dallas Cowboys. Emmit Smith, he's actually credited for his performance in Week 17 as the reason why the Cowboys won the Super Bowl that year. So his performance in Week 17, the last week in the regular season, was the reason why they won the Super Bowl. So, put that into perspective. I think that was 96-ish. I'm not too sure.
Just gonna give me the meat and potatoes.
Right. Come on, man.
Stop getting into detail.
But basically what happened was they were playing on AstroTurf. So if you know anything about the regular turf right now that we play on, it's like artificial grass, obviously, and basically it's soft. It's soft, but it still hurts when you fall on it. Now just imagine the turf that we know today. Just imagine a concrete version of that turf, and that's what football players used to play on back in the 90s. So it was regular grass or it was basically concrete, and they were playing the New York Giants. And when they were playing the Giants, Emmitt Smith, he did like a 36, 40-yard run, and one of the Giants players tackled him from behind, and he fell completely on his shoulder. When he fell on his shoulder, he had basically a limb separation in his shoulder, and also he had 7 spasms in the neck, 7 different spasms in the neck. Now, side story. I had a neck spasm last week, and this man could attest to it. I was sleeping.
Walking around like this.
I was literally walking around like this. And I couldn't move. I couldn't function for like a day and a half. So just imagine playing a football game, football being the extreme physical sport that it is, and people are literally paid to knock you off, to knock you out. And you have 7 different spasms in your neck. And you're still playing. You have a limb separation, literally your shoulder. You're playing with one arm. And you have a bruised sternum. So this man, he was able to accumulate 169 rushing yards with all of that pain. And then he had 229 all-purpose yards that game. So he was the Cowboys' passing and rushing attack, and he only played running back. So he was the whole team. And the reason why he kept on playing was because he knew that he had to follow through with his goal. Basically what they were fighting for was a first-round bye. And they were fighting for the number 1 seed in the playoffs. So if you have the number 1 seed, next week you don't get to play. You get to see everybody else play, you get to rest up, etc. So his performance, it was just like, hey, listen, this is right here, right now, is do or die. And basically he did. And he put his body through extreme circumstances. Every single time he would fall, the New York Giants players were just trying to knock him out of the game. Once again, 229 all-purpose yards. For anybody that doesn't know sports, that's a lot of yards. Anybody that does know sports knows that's a lot of yards. So it's crazy because the Giants players, once again, hitting him as hard as he could, as hard as they could, as hard as they could. Every single time he fell, he tells a story. He's like, listen, I heard the cracks in my bones in his shoulders every single time he fell, but he kept on getting up. Basically, the medical staff told him, listen, Emmit, we can't do anything for you. If you want to play, you can still play. If you want to sit out, we understand. And he had his offensive linemen, the rest of the players on the Cowboys team, tell him, listen, Emmit, you don't got to do this. Literally verbatim, you don't have to do this. And he was still able to fight on. Once again, 7 different spasms in the neck. Your neck is only but so big. And if you have a spasm, you're literally restricted from moving your neck that way without pain.
Do you feel like when you get hit like that, every time that you get hit, that it makes you want to go harder, that it makes you want to go further.
Made him want to go harder.
In the sense, like, we watched Creed, obviously, and it was as if every time he got punched, it actually made him want to fight even more. Every time Emmit got hit on the ground, and he's hearing his bones cracking, does that make you want to go harder? Does that make it actually easier to follow through with the goal, with the purpose that you started with, when you get the bumps and the bruises?
I feel like that's a two-part question. Number one, we spoke in earlier episodes about everything. Strength comes from the mind, not from the body. So even though he played football, he was a football player, he was able to say, okay, this pain right now, I could
kept saying no pain.
Yeah, no pain, no pain. He could basically say, listen, this actual pain I'm feeling right now is not really pain. I'm going to use this as fuel, as energy. Exactly. And he used it in a positive manner. And I also feel like when you have that warrior mentality that, listen, nothing is going to stop me unless I reach my goal mentality, whether you play football, whether you're trying to get a 1600 in your SATs, whatever, then you're able to put your mind to that certain mindset or whatever, and you're able to say, okay, listen, whatever's happening now doesn't matter. I'm going to achieve that.
I get you. Is that what you do? Yeah. When you feel like when you go through stuff that you use it as that? You use it as, it's like taking the negative energy and you change it into positive energy. Is that what you feel like you do?
Yeah, that's what being a hunter is all about. So it's not just me. It's about anybody that's a hunter. Okay. So you take whatever is negative in your life and you turn it into positivity and then use that as fuel to stand there and keep on progressing.
That's smooth. Yeah, I mean, just to touch on that, I just feel like there's a certain mentality, a certain dog mentality that you gotta have. You know what I mean? It's just like, I won't be stopped type mentality. Yeah. So I feel like that's pretty cool. And speaking of dog mentalities, Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay,
the GOAT,
greatest of all time. I'm telling you, like, this guy, you have an individual that says that I am going to be the greatest in the world. That was his purpose. That's what his dream was. That's what he wanted to show everybody. He said that before he was the greatest, he knew he was the greatest. You know what I mean? You have somebody say that, and all the things that he had to go through. He actually started boxing because somebody stole his bike. You know, and he went to, he found out that there was this police officer that was teaching young kids how to box in a basement. He approached the police officer and he was like, listen, like, somebody stole my bike. I need to go out and I got to do what I got to do. You know, the police officer was like, you know what? If you're going to go out there and you're going to do that, at least learn how to fight. Yeah. So police officer started teaching him how to fight. Within 3 months, he won like his first golden gloves. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they realized, yo, this kid got talent. Yeah. You know what I mean? So from then on, he just figured, yo, like, boxing is gonna be my thing, and I'm going to change boxing. He said, I'm gonna make boxing entertaining again. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you have this braggadocious young black man in an era where young black men couldn't be braggadocious. No. You know what I mean? He came from an era where you still couldn't eat in the same restaurants as white folk, and he was like, you know what? I'm going to be comfortable in my own skin, and I'm going to follow through to my success. His first professional fight, who's the dude? Something listed. Sonny listed. Yeah. So he actually drove a van, like a bus, onto his lawn. He would just put signs. He would post signs on his wall saying, you know what, I want the bear. Bring the bear up. Bring the bear up. Yeah. You know what I mean? And just antagonizing him to the point where he was like, you know what, I'm gonna fight you. Yeah. And then from that fight on, he gained his name. You know what I mean? He became who.
And that's in an era where I want to say, like, you know, you're coming right after Joe Louis, who was the champ at that time, and he was like the humble, like, I won't say anything, because in that era, like you said, you couldn't do that. Like, white people would look at you and like, no, like, that's not what black people wanted to be looked at. So that's cool.
Yeah, and just talking about the follow through. This is a guy that won the. He's the only one to ever win the heavyweight championship 3 times. Wow. First time he did it, he was 22 years old. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you got a young kid.
Side note, to put that into perspective, he only really lost it twice.
Because it was stripped from him when the Vietnam War. Yeah, it was stripped from him. He was banned from boxing, stripped of all his titles. Because he didn't want, because the nation saw him as the nation's hero. You know what I mean? If we put this guy on the front lines or whatever, we could use him as propaganda because the Vietnam War was a very unpopular war. You know, so if we could get this guy out there, that's gonna get people behind him. You know,
yeah.
and he was like, no, like I'm a brown man, I'm not gonna go kill other brown men because y'all want me to.
Exactly.
And he took that stance. That's another the follow through. He came back after being stripped of all his titles, came back and won it again. Yeah. You know what I mean? Showing that I am the greatest. You could do whatever you want to me, but I will come back and I will continue to follow through. And now till this day, you got people that know nothing about boxing. Who's Muhammad Ali? Exactly. Everybody know him.
The greatest boxer of all time.
Everybody know him as the greatest boxer of all time. You don't have to know a single stat, a single fight, a single anything. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because he followed through to his success no matter what happened. Yeah. You know. And I feel like that's what the follow through is all about. You're gonna face chance. He won the Olympics. He won the Olympics and he was being cheered on in other countries. But he came back to this country and they were like, you still can't eat with the white folk. Yeah, you know what I mean? You still can't do that. Yeah. So you got a person growing up in that type of environment and they're coming out and they're saying, you know, I'm still going to be braggadocious. I'm still going to love the color of my skin. I'm still going to be the greatest of all time and y'all going to respect that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I feel like that right there, extremely powerful. Yeah. Forcing people to respect your greatness. You know, and I feel like that right there, that's what the follow through is all about.
To touch on that, I felt like by the time Muhammad Ali basically ended his career, and we were talking earlier, it got to a point where literally his doctor was telling him, Muhammad Ali, you should stop boxing because your liver is failing you. And he was just like, listen, man, I hear you, but we're going to keep on. We're going to keep on because he knew he had a mission at hand. And I feel like by the time Muhammad Ali actually called it quits, not only did black people love him, respect him, and idolized him, but white people loved him, respected him, and idolized him. I feel like that's the reason why, for me, he's the greatest of all time. Because in a time like that, where you could stand there and you could just be you could fight the government, you could fight the biggest, baddest people. Like, yo, people really don't understand. George Foreman, when they did the Rumble in the Jungle, George Foreman, he literally, they said a prayer before the fight. Like George Foreman and his trainers and everybody said a prayer before the fight, basically saying like, listen, I hope I don't kill Muhammad Ali this game. During this boxing match. And George Foreman was quoted as saying, listen, I'm going to serve this as an exorcist and I'm going to beat the devil out of him.
Seriously.
George Foreman at that time was the strongest, most powerful puncher ever. And Muhammad Ali already had years in the game. So you put something like that up to him. It's like Muhammad Ali went from Goliath to David and was also just like, listen, I don't care why is everybody scared? You go back, you look at old footage of Muhammad Ali, he's training for the fight. There's nothing to be scared of. You feel me? He's a man, I'm a man, he bleeds, I bleed. Like, it doesn't matter about how hard he hits because Muhammad Ali knew that his mind, his boxing skills and all of that, he could follow through with that. Yeah. So it's just kind of like, hey, listen, man, like when it all comes down to when it was said and done, he was the greatest for that reason because he always fought against the odds. So I feel like with that being said, listen, he's the greatest of all time for that. And he followed through. Like, you want to stand there, you want to figure out what it means to follow through, study Muhammad Ali.
And I feel like, it's very important that people understand that, just the power of the follow through. You know, we give these examples and we give these stories of people that you can relate with because these people all had a great task at hand. And when anybody sets out to do anything great, there's going to come a point where life is going to test you. You know, life is there. Life is there, little checkpoints. It's going to test you and it's going to force you to follow through. And once again, like I said in previous episodes, you get pushed in a corner and it's either you crumble or you break through those barriers. You know, and that's what this whole episode is about, the follow through. And we hope you take that away from this. If you take nothing else, take away that. Life is not all what do they say, roses.
Peaches and cream.
Peaches and cream or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? Life is life and it tests you. Because once it tests you, you grow from that. So anything, any situation or any pain that you ever have to go through, it's on a temporary basis. As long as you stay persistent, you have that relentlessness and that tenacity, you can always follow through.
Before we close the segment, I wanted you to talk about the video that you shared with me this week. Because I feel as though it literally goes hand in hand with what you're talking about.
True. So, Right. So I'll do it real quick. Steve Harvey, he released a video on Facebook this week, and he was just basically talking about the importance of jumping, right? A lot of people, they live their lives, and they live their lives at the edge of the cliff, where there's a certain point in time where it's like, hey, listen, I have two choices. One, to either just stand here at this edge and just see, okay, there's opportunity down there, but I just have to jump off of this cliff. And a lot of people, they live their life, and they're just so, they want to be safe. They want to be comfortable. So they'd rather just live a boring life and just stand at the edge of the cliff while they're watching everybody jump off, right? And Steve Harvey was just saying, listen, everybody, by the time that they die, should jump off of this cliff, right? Because if you jump off the cliff, your dream success is your parachute. Now, once you jump off, you're going to be pulling at this parachute thinking that, hey, listen, success is going to come, success is going to come. But it's not going to come like that. It's not going to come that fast. And when it comes to the follow through, you have to, just like he was saying, you have to be able to go through what life is throwing at you. So if you're jumping off that cliff and you're basically falling and, I don't know, scraping the rocks, scraping rips and tears and all of that, that's just part of it. But as if you keep on accepting that, you keep on fighting through, following through to your dreams and all of that, there's going to be a certain point in time where that parachute is going to open up and you're going to soar and you're going to fly. And it's just like, I don't know, like that's basically the Steve Harvey thing in a nutshell. You should look that up.
I feel like that just touches more so on the follow through. You know what I mean? That drop when you're dropping from that cliff, that whole time, that's the follow through. You know, so once again, if you take nothing else from this episode, take this concept, just the concept of the follow through, and we would have done our jobs. But we're gonna move on to the next segment. We'll be right back after these messages. You guys know we always bring a guest on that's pursuing their dreams, pursuing their success, praying on their success. Mm-hmm. And we got a wonderful young lady here today that's gonna share with the world what she's up to. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Thank you. Welcome back to Hunters TV. We have Desiree Holland here with us. She's praying on her success. She's actually an independent film producer, and she's also an actress, and she's just here to speak with us. So thank you for coming on the show, and just tell us about yourself.
Well, my name is Desiree Holland, like you said. I'm originally from South Jersey, and I've been in Philly since I was like 12 years old. I just recently graduated from the Art Institute of Philadelphia. I was majoring in video production and digital filmmaking. Right now, I'm just gearing up to wrap up the script for my first film, and that's basically what's going on right now.
Okay, that's solid. So, I mean, I guess you kind of answered that. So, you're currently praying on your success by producing your first film, right?
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Absolutely. I can't tell you too much.
We don't want to
director might kill me. But basically, it's about a young woman who wants to be a singer. And throughout the film, she comes across a lot of hardships and tribulations that become roadblocks in order for her to succeed this achievement. But within the film, it also has a little background story of including an LGBT community, which is not normally done in films coming out of Philly right now. And it's just about a young girl succeeding and eventually getting to where she wants in life.
Follow through.
The follow through, basically.
All right, that's what's up, man.
So what is the greatest gift you feel like you give the world?
The greatest gift I can give to the world is real life experience and going through a lot that I think a lot of people my age will be able to take a lot from it. Just having a hard time getting to where I'm trying to get in life, I think will be my greatest gift, will be influence and inspiration to others my age.
And you feel like you're doing that, you want to do that through film?
Definitely. And just getting to know me, behind me just being a film producer, I think naturally hearing how hard it was when I get to the point I want to get, it's going to speak for itself.
So you're just saying like your story in general, just
my
like
story
your personal
in general,
story.
yeah.
So like your films, because I know you want to have quite a few of them. Mm-hmm. Do they all carry a message, like a specific message that if a person watches each individual film, they can see that trend
Absolutely. I don't necessarily write scripts. I'm not a writer, so I work with the director, and we have a goal to at least accomplish 6 films together, and he's writing all 6 of those. But they all do have a message in their own way. Like this first film, we thought would be the perfect one starting off in our career. It's not too, bad jumping into starting our first one, but each story definitely, it either a background of someone or some way or another, yes, it will.
Okay, and then people will be able to pick up on those lessons as
Absolutely.
Follow through with your films.
Are you going to be doing more short films, long films?
Just feature films.
2 hours?
Yeah, 1 hour, 90 minutes. I kind of want to do a short film, but I kind of stay away from short films.
Okay. Why you say that?
Because I want to be a motion picture film producer, and when I look at backgrounds of people who actually excel in that, not saying that people haven't done short films, but it's like if you want to be a feature film producer, do feature films.
Right.
Yeah. Makes perfect sense. All right, so what motivates you in your quest for overall life fulfillment?
My first love was acting. That's all I chased in high school. That's something I've always been in love with, and I realized it's not easy trying to pursue that career, especially depending on your image or, however you're trying to go about it. But I realized by producing films, I can put myself in it, and that's another way to get into the door just as well.
So when times get hard and...
When times get hard, I'm just like, I didn't do all this for nothing. I've already done it this for. What's the point of it? It's like waiting in a line for a sandwich or anything, and you got 20 million people in front of you, and you already waited 20 minutes. At this point, it's like it'd be stupid for me to just walk out. I didn't waste 20 minutes, and that's what pushes me. Like, I'm going to achieve this.
So it's not like, let's say for certain people, maybe for me personally, I listen to music. It makes me want to, like, it motivates me. Whether if I'm down or whether if I'm at the gym, I need to put some, like, music. I don't know, hype music on, whatever. That right there just motivates me in a different way. So for you, it's just like the purpose of doing something, right?
Or more so of just knowing, I feel like I was handed I want to curse, but I want to say I was handed a miserable card in life. And where the odds is against me. So I want to prove life otherwise, that I can make something out of my life which seems impossible. That's what motivates me the most.
Beautiful.
Like that. That's
beautiful.
So
we would ask you, give us an example of a certain point in time where you had to, you looked at your goal, and you looked at how far away you were from your goal, and you had to follow through with that.
I got a lot of those examples, but one right off the top of my head that I don't know, because I'm always putting myself in obligations where I have to follow through, but I'll say recently I had an internship program, 10 weeks with a country band, bluegrass country band called the Sherwood Brothers. So I wanted to do something real nice for them because I thought they were a great band and they just needed really good visual material, but being only an associate major during the time in school, I wasn't allowed to get like the great equipment like a dolly and all that. But I was like so determined to get these things done, but it was impossible. But I was like, I'm going to find any way I can make this happen because, anything I make represents who I am, you know. So I went to the head of the board at the school, got them to sign off for the equipment. Then I needed a transportation to get the dolly on. The dolly is huge. We couldn't even get in the elevator. Day after day, it was always more problems in order to accomplish this thing. That it took about 4 months to get exactly what I wanted. But no matter what was thrown at me, I just kept going after it. That it's almost like unreal that I got that thing to happen, like that music video. So that's only one example I can think of my head.
I love stories like that, when people are told they can't do certain things and be like, but I can.
Right.
You actually go out and accomplish that. I feel like that's pretty cool.
So how long does it take to do the average, like how long do you feel like it was supposed to have to?
I feel like it should have been able to be got done in like a week, but it's when you have a lack of resources or people who don't believe in you, more time is added to it.
Right.
In order for you to achieve something that, if you had the resources, can get knocked out.
Right. Beautiful.
I admire that and I commend that.
Thank you.
That's pretty cool. So do you have a set date for when that movie is supposed to come out?
Not really. Our goal though is to be able to release it at least by the end of this year, so winter. But
Okay.
I'll definitely make sure to keep you guys posted.
Yeah, we would love to take a look. I'm excited.
I can't wait to show you guys.
You have any other works?
Do I have any other works?
Yeah, that you're working on that.
Well, now I like just about 2 weeks ago, I had a showcase, and basically that showcase was the finale of video production. I'm kind of done with video production. I want to just focus on film. So I do have like a demo reel of all the things I've made in the past few years, like music videos and stuff like that. So you guys can definitely check out. But everything now is just going to be confidential until I get to the point where I'm gearing up to premiere the first film.
Right.
So stay low, you know.
Love it.
Beautiful. You know, we love your answers and we love what you're doing. Now, on this show, we always, before we let our guests go, we let them showcase the special talent that they have. You know, the concept behind the special talent is a lot of people have that thing that they do. You know, that thing that they do in the corner. You may not be the greatest at it or whatever, but it brings value to your life. You enjoy to do it. You know, and we like to put that value in there. So, what would be your special talent?
My special talent is pantomime. So I've been miming for over 8 years. So pantomime is basically with someone with the white paint over their face, and they do like, you know, it's trapped in a box. That's something that I've personally always done for the past 8 years.
That's pretty cool.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Can you like explain the name pantomime?
Pantomime is basically, well, mime period, you're a mimic actor. So you imitate others, you imitate people. That's basically the background of what pantomime was and what it started off. It originated with men getting on stage, sometimes mocking women by putting dress on, and you see it transform through time. I mean, it's form of miming. You can say was praise dance is a form of mime. Even blackface, even though it was, you know, races, that was a form of mime. So it's however you want to take it. Of course, that's not like the origin of it, but that's how I take it.
What made you want to do that?
Like I said, being from South Jersey, I was always 30 minutes away from Atlantic City. And Atlantic City, to me, was like going downtown in Philadelphia, like going to the gallery. It was like an everyday thing. And growing up back then, like about 10 years ago, you didn't need a permit to street perform. So I used to see theatrical things going on all the time. And I was, as a kid, always trying to hustle you. I was trying to sell you something, you know, DVDs, candy, it didn't matter. And I thought at one point, like, how can I do this but do it in a positive way where I won't get in trouble, like not selling bootlegs or something. And I don't know what happened, but I think I came across someone who was like in all gray or all gold. You ever see the people that's on the boardwalk? And it caught my eye, so I watched a few videos of people doing that. I went out to the store and bought makeup. And I went out on the boardwalk and I just did it just to see what would happen, and I made about $100 and something bucks. And after that, I fell in love with it. So I researched everything behind it, and I just kept doing it as a personal hobby.
How old were you?
I want to say the first time I did it, I was about like 13.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's tough.
That's nice. And you said that you actually have a show coming up that's showcasing that, right?
Yep.
All right, so we'd like to take a look at that, and I'm sure our viewers would appreciate that too. So,
Absolutely.
So we could plug that in somewhere.
Okay.
All right. And then James, just take it away. Take us to Shaka Ptah.
All right, so we have this special treat for you guys once again. Shaka Ptah is going to do his thing, and he's just going to kill it. So stay tuned. Come back.
Oh, lastly, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Desiree, F as in family, Holland. And then Facebook, just Desiree Holland. Anything you look up, just look up Desiree Holland. LinkedIn, Desiree Holland. But mainly at Desiree F. Holland.
And they can find your work.
All my work and everything, just go straight to that. You'll find everything.
Perfect. And then, like James said, you guys, we also
Wait, one more thing. I'm sorry, but she's officially a hunter now, so you gotta hunter salute. No.
I thought it was the dad.
No.
You gotta explain to her what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Mind, body. No, so it's not a handshake.
Oh, it's just a rub.
Yes,
Okay.
So mind, body. So
like
mind, body, soul. All right, and then we'll be right back.
Shaka.
They say they want to see me transform, like Optimus Prime. I've been thinking about this universe, lots on my mind. I got the world on my back now. It's only getting heavier. Just take a deep breath and hold it steadier. You ready, bruh? They asked me as I anamorph and cannonball inside the pool of life. The pool of life got me by the hand so tight, I would probably lose the handle, dog. I'm searching for the answers through the lens of light, but the camera's off. But I'm feeling honorable, rolling around as I rendezvous, laughing at all these cats I be blasting. I find them comical. Oh, my God, ain't you supposed to show them love? Connected to the higher power? Ain't you supposed to be the plug? Looking at the cool kids like, don't you want to join the club? You always been a loner, though, but ain't you supposed to be the one? To bring it back to you, the better you, the one they put on pedestals that never move. They say they want to see you transform, like Pac in his prime. But I've been thinking about my life, dog. Lots on my mind. I got the world on my back now. It's only getting heavier. Just take a deep breath and hold it steady. You ready, bro?
Thank you for watching another episode of Hunters TV. I'd like to send out a special thanks to our guest, Desiree Holland. We also like to thank Shaka Ptah for doing this thing. And today, we learned about the importance of the follow-through. James, take it away. Take us home.
Gotcha. So, what we want you to take away from today's basically episode is that when it comes to you following through to your success, whatever success means for you, you basically have to take a situation that basically like you don't have any control of the situation, and you just have to continue to push forward. It's all about the perseverance. It's all about the relentlessness, the tenacity. So make sure that you always keep that in mind and you just keep on moving. Like we said earlier with Muhammad Ali, he wanted to be the greatest of all time. No matter what barrier that was put in his way, he just kept on pushing, kept on moving. And by the time he ended his career, he was literally known as the GOAT, the greatest of all time. And when it comes to Emmit Smith and him having 7 different spasms in his neck, he had a bruised sternum, basically torn shoulder, and he was playing on basically concrete grass. He followed through. He said, "This pain is not really happening, and I'm gonna continue to fight." And he had one of the best games of his career. So we want you to take that away from this episode. Follow through. Don't curl up. Don't fold under pressure. Basically, don't fold under pressure. Just continue to persevere. We would like to say one more thing too. We have Shaka Ptah on this show, and he performs. But I don't want you guys to just take it as the entertainment. Really listen to the words that he says, right? Really listen and break down the lyrics, because this show was meticulously planned and set up to basically give everybody gems in each segment, gems to take away with life. And what the show's about, it's about action. So we want you guys to receive all of this information, but actually apply it. Because what's good if you learn things, but you're not applying it to your life. You could be the smartest person in the world, but if you're not applying it, if you're not really testing out the theories that you're putting into your mind, then it means nothing. So really take that to consideration when you're watching all of these episodes, when you're listening to the words that Shaka's saying, when we're bringing on these hunters that are preying on their success. Everybody's different. So we want you to basically prey on your version of success, and basically, I don't know, help me out, like
Utilize our information.
Utilize our information for the well-being of yourself. And that's basically what we would like to say. Shaka does have a project that's coming out March 4th, so be on the lookout for that as well.
And with that being said, I mean, you said everything else. So continue to be a hunter.
Pray on your success. Thank you.